Well, I have something interesting that I learned. Evidently, Americans have a different joystick than Japanese video games, especially arcade machines. I had no idea, and I'm used to the Japanese one, evidently. I don't think I've ever seen the American joystick. It's weird. It's like a weird, I don't know, it looks uncomfortable. It looks like you can't really play with it. So let's take the NES Advantage, for instance. This would be a reasonable example of a Japanese style joystick. It's a stick with a ball on the top. Now this stick is a little bit thick, so like I like playing a little bit like that, or like this. And I couldn't imagine playing with an American joystick, because that joystick is more like an elongated cylinder that's just kind of weird. Like, I guess you have to hold it like that then. I don't know, like holding it like that is much better instead of holding it like that. There's also differences with, evidently, the clickiness of it, because Japanese joysticks are very clicky. This one's not particularly clicky. I believe they intentionally made it to where it didn't click too much. But, you know, some joysticks, they actually do. They have like a click, 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 because they have the limit switches. They have 4 limit switches. I have several of them somewhere. I have several arcade machines with these types of joysticks on them, but those are in storage, and it's midnight and I don't feel like going out there. Then I believe other countries actually have different ones. Like, I also heard that Korean joysticks look very similar to this. However, with those ones, they don't have the clicky. They actually have rubber buttons, so it's very squishy, almost weird. And the American ones, I don't think they have the clicky limit switches either. It's just so strange. Like, I mean, like, sure, I've grown up under a rock my entire life, and so I don't actually have that much of a connection to American culture. And like, I'm more of, when I think of myself where I'm from, I think of myself more as from the internet, because I don't really interact with people around here, and so, especially in the United States, and so it's so bizarre. I don't understand why. It's like weird Americans. It's weird since I have American citizenship, and technically I am an American, but still, I think I still feel like that, like weird Americans, because why? This type of controller is perfectly fine. I love it. It's great. I don't get why you would need that. Maybe it's just how you grow up. Maybe it's just what you are used to. I don't know. So weird. I also kind of like that. A part of me also kind of likes that. I didn't grow up really experiencing American culture or the American situation. Because, like, when I look at it, a lot of it is just, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you have that joystick? Why wouldn't you have the better joystick? Well, better. I think it's better for my playing style. And, yeah, it's just weird. I actually have 2 of these. I'm just going to go on a rant about this. I got one for like $5 because it was in the trash. Or sorry, no, it was in the box of broken items at a game store, and I got it for like really discounted. I think they were normally like $20, but I got it for really cheap. And I think it was just dog chewed on the cable or something like that, so I can fix that. I'm pretty sure I already did fix that, but it could have been that my soldering job when I was like 10 years old wasn't good enough, so maybe I should revisit that one and fix it again. It'd probably be a good idea. So yeah, that's just so weird, the cultural differences. That's also kind of weird that I have culture shock in the country that I've grown up in for the most part. I mean, sure, I haven't spent my entire life here, but I've spent like 95% of my life here, and so, or 97% of my life here, and so I don't see train in the background, sorry. So I don't see, like, I don't know, it's just kind of funny. Speaking of that, I regularly get people really, like, confused by me because, like, evidently in this county, Montgomery County, Illinois, there is a food called a horseshoe, or maybe it's just like Central Illinois, but it's like a weird thing. It's like pulled pork with cheese and fries on top, just like a plate of blah. I mean, it looks interesting. I wouldn't want to eat it as a meal, but evidently it's this big thing. And so like, I happen to be going out to eat with some of the people working on the Red Rooster Inn that I was helping with the restoration, and one of them got a horseshoe, and they said, "Man, I can't wait to dig into this horseshoe." And I was like, "What's a horseshoe?" And then they were like, "You don't know what a horseshoe is, and you grew up around here?" And it's like, I've never I don't experience this culture. I mean, effectively I have not grown up around here. Like, you could say that I haven't because of how little I know about this. And so then they explained to me, like, oh, it's a local thing, and it's really big, and it's the huge thing. Everybody knows about it except for me. And yeah, it's weird. But that goes into a whole other ramble about how I always feel like a foreigner everywhere except for the internet. So that's a little weird. Like, as soon as I step off my property, I feel like I'm in like another country because everything's so weird and hard to understand. Tipping is the worst. Like, you beg for money, or you expect free handouts, but you don't expect too big of a free handout. If you give a little bit of a handout, that's polite. If you give too much of a handout, then that's rude. It's like, just make up your fucking... I don't get it. I don't get tipping. There's been so many things where it's been an awkward situation where I thought they did a really good job, so I tipped a lot, and then they were like, "Oh, no, I can't take that." It's like, whoa, so you can take a little bit of money, but you can't take a lot of money? I think that's all I have to say about that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching. See ya.